Alex Thompson was 26 years old and convinced he was on the verge of something great. He lived in a one-bedroom apartment on the 23rd floor of a glass tower in downtown Chicago, the kind of place that looked impressive from the outside but felt hollow once you stepped inside. The living room had been converted into a trading station. 3 ultra-wide monitors curve around a standing desk, a mechanical keyboard glowing soft blue, and a 4th laptop permanently open to a Discord server full of other retail traders who never seemed to sleep. Every morning began the same way. At 6:30 a.m., before the pre-market even opened, Alex was already scanning watch lists. He drank cold brew straight from the can, eyes bloodshot from the night before, hunting for stocks that had gapped down hard on bad news. Oversold, he would mutter to himself. This is the dip everyone will wish they bought. He had read all the classic value investing books, Graham, Buffett, Lynch, and he believed, with the unshakable certainty of youth, that buying low was the only intelligent way to make money in the market. His strategy was simple and, in his mind, foolproof. Wait for a stock to drop 20, 30, sometimes 50% on some piece of negative earnings guidance or a failed drug trial or a CEO scandal. Then scoop it up at what felt like a fire sale price. The market overreacts, he told his friends. I'm the one who stays calm and buys when everyone else is panicking. His friends, most of whom worked normal 9-to-5 jobs, nodded politely and changed the subject. For a while, it almost worked. In 2023, he caught a few sharp rebounds. A biotech that plunged after Phase 2 rocketed 70% in 2 weeks after a rumor of a buyout. A retailer that everyone declared dead surged when holiday numbers surprised to the upside. Alex posted screenshots of those green days on social media. $8,000 profit here, $12,000 there. And the likes rolled in. People started calling him the Dip King. He bought a new watch. He upgraded his monitors. He told his girlfriend, Mia, that he was only a couple more good trades away from quitting his part-time consulting gig and trading full-time. But by early 2025, the magic had stopped working. The rebounds grew smaller and took longer to arrive. Some never arrived at all. Stocks he bought at what he thought were rock-bottom prices kept finding new rocks beneath the bottom. He learned new phrases the hard way. Catching a falling knife, dead cat bounce, value trap. His account, which had peaked at $187,000 in the summer of 2024, was now hovering just above $90,000. Every red day felt personal, like the market was punishing him for his patience. He began averaging down. If a position went against him, he bought more shares at the lower price to reduce his average cost. Now it only has to get back to break-even, he told himself. But break-even became a moving target that kept drifting farther away. He stopped posting screenshots. The Discord server started to feel like a support group for people in denial. Mia noticed he wasn't sleeping. He snapped at her when she asked gentle questions about how work was going. She stopped asking. One Thursday night in October 2025, the damage was particularly brutal. Alex had loaded up on a solar company that had missed earnings and gapped down 35% of the open. "This is insane," he typed in the Discord. "They're literally giving it away." He bought 4,000 shares at $22.50, convinced the panic would reverse by the following week. Instead, a major analyst downgraded the stock the next morning, and it closed at $17.80. His position was down $18,800 in 48 hours. He stared at the red number on his screen until the digits blurred. He didn't eat dinner. He sat in the dark with only the glow of the monitors, scrolling through old charts of trades that had gone wrong. There were so many now. A lithium miner that kept discovering new lows. A software company whose turnaround story turned into Chapter 11. A meme stock he had sworn he would never touch but bought anyway because it was too beaten up to go lower. Every single one had started with the same conviction. This is cheap. This is safe. This is obvious. At 2:17 a.m., he opened Reddit and typed a post he immediately deleted. "Is it possible I'm just bad at this?" He closed the laptop, lay on the couch still in his clothes, and stared at the ceiling until the sun came up. The next week was worse. The solar position fell below $14. He averaged down again, bringing his average cost to $19.20. The unrealized loss crossed $40,000. He turned off price alerts because every notification felt like a punch. He started drinking earlier in the evening. Mia came home one night and found him asleep at the desk, forehead pressed against the keyboard, a half-empty bottle of bourbon beside him. She covered him with a blanket and cried quietly in the bedroom. Alex knew something had to change, but he didn't know what. He had tried everything he could think of. Tighter stop losses. He always moved them when price got close. Larger position sizes to make it back faster. Switching from daily charts to hourly charts. Even dabbling in options to hedge. Nothing helped. The market seemed to know exactly where his pain threshold was and pushed just past it every time. In November, he took a break. He told himself it was only temporary, just a week or two to clear his head. He went for long runs along the lakefront, read novels for the first time in years, met friends for drinks without checking his phone every 5 minutes. For a few days, the knot in his stomach loosened. But the moment he opened his brokerage app again, the anxiety flooded back. The solar position was now $11. His account balance read $63,400. He felt physically sick. One cold evening in early December, while aimlessly browsing an old trading forum he hadn't visited in years, he stumbled across a thread titled, "The One Quote That Saved My Account." Someone had posted a single line attributed to Jesse Livermore. "It was never my thinking that made the big money for me. It always was my sitting." Alex had heard the name Jesse Livermore before. Everyone in trading circles had. But he had dismissed him as an ancient speculator from a bygone era, a gambler who ultimately blew himself up. Curiosity got the better of him. He searched for more quotes. Another one appeared. "There is nothing new in Wall Street. There can be because speculation is as old as the hills. Whatever happens in the stock market today has happened before and will happen again." He kept reading. Quote after quote challenged everything he believed. Stocks are never too high for you to begin buying or too low to begin selling. The average man doesn't wish for logical, sound reasons. He wishes to believe what he wants to believe. And then the one that stopped him cold. "I never buy a stock low. I buy it when it is showing strength." Alex laughed out loud at first. Buy high. That was the exact opposite of everything he had been taught. It sounded insane. It sounded like chasing bubbles. It sounded like what the reckless gamblers on Wall Street bets did right before they lost everything. And yet, something about it resonated. He couldn't stop reading. That night, he ordered a used copy of Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, the thinly veiled biography of Livermore written by Edwin Lefebvre. When it arrived 2 days later, he devoured it in one sitting, highlighter in hand, heart racing as though he were discovering a secret map. Christmas came and went quietly. Mia had gone to her parents' house in Michigan. Alex stayed in Chicago, claiming he had some things to figure out. In truth, he spent the holiday alone with the book, rereading chapters, taking notes, cross-referencing Livermore's rules with modern charts. He printed out price action from the past 5 years on stocks he had traded and lost money on, then overlaid stocks that had gone up tenfold during the same period. The pattern was undeniable. Almost every big winner had spent months or years making higher highs and higher lows. They looked expensive the entire way up. The stocks he had bought on dips, convinced they were bargains, spent most of their time making lower lows. There were exceptions, of course, but the exceptions were rare enough to be noise, not signal. On December 27th, he opened a new spreadsheet. Column A, stocks he had lost money on in 2024 to 2025. Column B, the price at which he entered. Column C, whether the stock was making a new 52-week low, a multi-month low, or simply down a lot at the time of purchase. Column D, what the stock was doing now. The results were brutal. Out of 23 major losing positions, 21 had been entered when the stock was weak or breaking down. Only 2 had been in established uptrends, and both of those he had sold too early out of fear that they were too extended. He stared at the spreadsheet for a long time. Then he opened a second tab and began listing Livermore's key principles. Buy rising stocks, not falling ones. The big money is made in the sitting, letting winners run. Never average down on a loser. Cut losses quickly. pyramid into winners, not losers. The market's trend is your friend. Fight it and you will lose. Each rule felt like a direct rebuke of everything he'd been doing for 3 years.